Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining the vlog. It's your girl Felicia. If this is your first time here, welcome. Don't forget to join the family. Not right now, but on your way out, make sure you hit subscribe, like, comment, all the things. And if you have been here before, welcome back. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all of you because the channel is really growing and it's just been an amazing time. We've talked about some things before when it comes to reimagining life at any age and at any stage, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Reimagining my life at this age and at this stage, and it is an amazing time. So again, welcome. And this is just a little Tuesday morning chit chat. I'm still navigating these names or what have you, and I promise I'm gonna vlog the regular vlog way next week because I'll be on vacation. So, I'll be able to show y'all all the deets and all that. But in the meantime, it's important to come on here and just, offer just a little bit of motivation in the process of doing all of the amazing things that we are out here doing. And so for those of you, if you feel like you're in a start over period, a start again period, a revamping period, reimagining period, especially with this being the last quarter of the year, because this is the time when a lot of people start really assessing where they are, where they want to be, and what their new year is going to look like, right? So this vlog is definitely for you if you are in that season, if you are in the season of, okay, let me see exactly where it is that I'm going, what it is that I'm doing, what it is that I'm trying to achieve. And, I thought about some things this morning, before jumping on here, because Monday was really Monday, okay? Monday, it was amazing. It was marvelous, but Monday was really Mondaying. And I was like, okay, so what is going to be the theme for Tuesday? Because Tuesday really sets you up for the middle of the week, really. You've gotten through Monday, that first day of the week, and now here it is, Tuesday. And so what kind of takeaway do we have for this Tuesday? And when you really start to think about this last quarter of the year and what it is that you want to achieve going into the new year, or certain things that you want to put in place for the new year, you've got to remember that, just say, for instance, 23, 24, 25 maybe weren't some of the best times for you, right? I know a lot of people are coming out of a lot of things. A lot of people are still in a lot of things. But what I do want to remind you on this amazing morning, on this terrific Tuesday, is whatever it is that you're setting yourself up for this new year, don't call it a comeback. Do not call it a comeback, because guess what? You've been here before. You've been here before. You've had to shift. You've had to reposition. You've had to kind of reacclimate before. So no, don't call it a comeback, because it's actually just a shift. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you a real life example that makes a lot of sense. Have you ever sat for a photography session or a photo session or what have you, and you're in position, right? You're basically foundationally where the photographer wants you to be. But then they say, well, just turn your head a little bit, to the right, or shift your head a little to the left, or they tell you to stay where you are but turn your body, right? So basically they're saying foundationally, you are where you need to be, just like life. Foundationally, you are exactly where you need to be. You might just need to shift a little bit to the right, shift a little bit to the left. What does that shift look like? So you don't call your whole everything a comeback. It might just take a little shifting to the right, to the left, It might take incubating a little bit. Sometimes really small changes turn into a really, really, really big deal. You know, I have this really quirky habit where I don't talk on the phone before I go to bed, right? Because I really don't want to think about everything that we talked about. I don't want to dream about everything that we talked about before I go to, when I go to sleep. I want to dream about and manifest and really pray in my sleep about what my next looks like. I want to go to bed with gratitude and love in my heart and all of those things. And so you never know what those conversations are before you go to bed. So you don't really want to, you know, interfere or interrupt what that dreaming looks like. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off track with that. The bottom line is sometimes really tiny, small shifts make a huge, huge difference. So don't necessarily call your next season your comeback, because it actually sounds like, when you think about it, when you're in that whole Rocky Balboa mode, dun 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 dun. I'm not a singer, so I'm not going I'm not even gonna hum it. But when you're considering yourself in that Rocky Balboa season, if you think about it, you're in a fighting stance and you're fighting your way back. But really, life shouldn't be a fight. It shouldn't be all of this struggle energy all the time. You're not punching the air to see your way through. You're really just taking necessary shifts, natural necessary shifts. Again, let's go back to the example of when the photographer is positioning you for your photos, right? They're not like picking you up and throwing your body into position, or you're not flipping or cartwheeling into position. You're subtly making small changes, but foundationally, you're in place. Foundationally, you are exactly where you need to be. You are just subtly shifting left or subtly shifting right, or maybe, sticking your chest out a little bit, or, straightening up your back, but you're not fighting to get in position. And life is exactly the same way. We have to understand that foundationally, we are exactly where we are supposed to be in order to make those subtle shifts. We just have to figure out what those subtle shifts are, right? And be excited about making those subtle shifts. And at the same time, be filled with gratitude that we got to the position to be in position, right? And B, that we recognize and we have the ability to make those subtle shifts. Because let's just be honest, sometimes we get in our own way. Sometimes we keep ourselves from making the necessary shifts that we need to make. And that's something that we've got to stop doing. We've got to get out of our own way in order to make those subtle shifts. And so when we categorize everything that we're doing, like, it's just this big fight, or it's just this big struggle. Really what we're doing is we're calling in that struggle energy. We're really navigating that struggle energy towards us, and we're really calling on the fight when that's not what we want to do. We don't want to fight our way to our next. We want our next season to be something that we smoothly transition into. Now, that's not always a realistic possibility because everybody's situation is different. Everybody's situation is different. But at the same time, you've got to know that fighting your way into something or fighting your way out of something really just keeps you in that low vibration, if you will. It's a thing where you can't, you've got to be what it is that you want to be, right? You know how they say you've got to be the change that you want to see? You have to embody the change that you want to see. So again, we're not going to call it a comeback because we've been here before. We're in position. We've been in position. You've seen some things before that you've had to change, and you made those changes. And so now you're just in a different season of change again. Because here's the thing. The clock doesn't stop ticking, right? Time doesn't stop moving. Why do we? Right? The weather changes daily. That's why we have weather reports. So why do we stay the same? You know, things that follow the natural order of things do exactly what it is that they are purposed and meant to do. However, we are the only species that fight change, don't necessarily embrace it. We look at it like this big fight, right? So going back to the title of this vlog, don't call it a comeback. You've been here before. You're just subtly shifting, and you're recognizing where those subtle shifts need to take place. I started this vlog a little early. I needed to make a subtle shift, right, in order to get it done. So small things can make really, really, really big changes as long as we look at it from a better perspective, right? So again, whatever your shift is, whatever changes you're making, whatever changes you're in the middle of, it just depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you categorize it. It depends on how you face it, because again, you don't have to catapult your way into position. You don't have to backflip your way into position. It's like when you're sitting for a photography session. You just might need to make some subtle shifts, left or right or forward or backwards. Sometimes we have to take a few steps back in order to take, 5 steps forward. Whatever that is, recognize it, be grateful, because here's the thing. Everything that you've done prior to now, everything that you've either gone through, dealt with, experienced, it has set you up for right now today. You are literally set up right now today for right now today. All of the lessons, all of the bumps, all of the bruises, all of the, happy times, all of the sad times, all of the everything. Everything has set you up for right now. So foundationally, you are exactly where you need to be. And being grateful for those lessons, that's what's going to help you get there. That is going to help you get there. So yeah, don't call it a comeback because you've been here before. You've been here before. You recognize what it is, and you are ready and prepared to make the subtle shifts that you need to make your life amazing. So gotta go. Time for work. And hope you enjoyed this morning's Tuesday Takeout vlog. Again, I'll be vlogging the regular way on next week. I'll be on vacation. So, I'll be able to show you guys all the behind the scenes excursions and all of that. But for right now, I just want to come on these crisp fall mornings and give you guys some motivation, because actually I'm motivating myself as well. Every single day is a subtle shift. We have to embrace that, be thankful for it, be grateful, and make it happen. So yeah, don't call it a comeback. We've been here before. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Love you guys. It's your girl Felicia. Talk to you later.